Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. My name is Canal Cheong Jagerroos and I'm an artist. And today I'm here to speak about interstice, not as a gap, but as a meeting point, an opening. Now you can hear better, right? An opening, a hidden doorway where connections happen. Maybe. Okay. And okay, this is from one of my exhibitions at Salo Art Museum. How come it's now? Okay. So let's me further. Okay. Sorry, I'm just showing you a bit more of my pictures from my exhibition. This is one of my exhibitions at the art center in a cave. Actually, it's the only man-made cave in Finland. It's very, very beautiful. And I have my floating island dripping in that cave. And it's been on TV and very well received. It's been very exciting journey for me. Well, here we are, so I'll share a bit about my personal journey, life. Let me take you back to about 37 years ago. I was a young girl who studied fine art at Guangzhou Fine Art Academy. One afternoon at an exhibition, I have a casual conversation with a visitor. Her name was Karma. She was a young foreign student from the US who studied Chinese at Zhongshan University. Now, there's nothing remarkable about that. It was just a simple conversation. But in that moment, in that interstice, a friendship began. And then sometimes later, Karma invited me to join her for tea at her dormitory. There I met her classmates. And sat across the table, there was a very interesting young good-looking man from Finland. Actually, in those days, I haven't really heard about Finland. I'm not so familiar with that country. So, his name was Johan. He was taking 1 year off from his university to come to China to study Chinese at the Zhongshan University. And we drank tea, we talked, we laughed. And Johan later became my husband. And after he graduated from his university, he started working for a Finnish international company. And because of my husband's work, we've been living across the world from Asia to Europe, from Africa to Scandinavia in the past 30 years. I wonder, should So along the path, we raised 2 children. Our son Philip was born in France, and our daughter Sabrina was born in Switzerland. The children, when they're little, they used to speak French and Italian to one another when they are playing at home. And that was quite amazing, actually. And because we've been living in those countries for quite many years. Oh, sorry. And in 2005, we returned to Finland so the children could grow up in their father's home country. So as a family, we have been working through an amazing path which I could never have planned or even imagined. Oh, sorry. Oops. Okay. Anyway, I continue, I think. So what I want to say about here is that is interstice for me. It's not a gap, but it is a sparkle. And then as an artist, I see interstice as a place where creativity grows and where community bridges and where different cultural sustainability develops. When I was a little girl, I always knew that I want to be an artist. Art and painting has been my lifelong passion. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been living in the past 30 years, living in many places, of which I call home, such as Shanghai, Hong Kong, France, Switzerland, Italy, Africa, Finland. All of those countries have left its mark on me, not just as a person, but as an artist. So for me, there, in that instance, is like creativity begins, and that's where dialogue becomes necessary. And it's in that interstice my art finds its true voice. I want to say a little bit about this is how I prepare my exhibition. As you see here, I'm working with different elements like materials. I work with this kind of textile, huge textile, and then also this kind of like a cardboard with acrylic, oil, and mixed media. This is at from my Helsinki studio. Okay, this is actually here. This is for me, this is one of the most important art review. After been working with my creativity over my whole life, this is one of the reviews that is very important for me. This is from my exhibition in Guangzhou Art Museum in Finland. One of these quite well-known art critics, he went to the museum to see my exhibition 3 times, and then he wrote this review, which is very, for me, is so much encouragement. And it's really for my pursuit to my artistic journey. Well, here you can see, this is my studio. You might think it's a bit messy, but I tell you, this is already very much tidy up. When I work or when I prepare for my exhibition, actually you don't find any places. Everywhere there, everything. So I already try to tidy up a little bit this space to take the picture. And this picture is taken from my Helsinki studio. I've been working for this series of paintings for my exhibitions in 4 different major art museums in Finland. And this is from the opening of one of my exhibitions for my solo exhibition in Jyväskylä Art Museum. Well, here, so I already lost myself. I already when I was looking at the video, and then to say, okay, what I want to say is about my art. You know, because I've been living in so many different places, working through different cultures. So, I mean, of course, there are always some challenge or uncertainty, but there are always inspirations and possibilities. And I mean, that is also interstice for me. Now this I want to say a little bit. This is from one of my recent exhibition in 2023. It was for one of the biggest art event in Finland. I was invited there to show as an international artist, and then there I do my floating island in installation. This is an amazing experience because as you see here, all those branches, wood. Actually, we've been with a big team, with a big truck. We went to the forest to collect all those materials. It's a tough job. And we don't want to cut off some new tree or branches. We don't want to do any harm to the forest, so we try to collect all those dry ones from the floor in the forest. But it was a very intensive process. And okay, we also have some flowers. And anyway, after that floating island exhibition, I've been working too much. It's totally unimaginable. So after that, I say to myself, I must take a pause now. Here is about my art project. I want to link the idea between interstice to art, space, culture, and how my own process. So back in 2015, I co-founded an art project called Blue and Red with a Finnish artist. Our goal was really simple. It's to create a platform to different cultures to meet, to share, to listen, and to understand. And for me, of course, it's also about courage and endurance. And with the project, together we traveled across Finland and China. We met local artists, and we exchanged ideas, and we gathered stories. And later, these stories became our artwork, and we've been showing them in the museums. And then in 2017, I continued my ongoing art project, Floating Island, which continued to explore space, movement, and installation art. And one of the most astonishing things for me is doing the installation art is very different than me used to do, like the painting, to hang on the wall. For the painting, I don't know how to explain, but for installation, it's very touched when you feel how the audience, they can walk in between all the installation, and they will take the moment to pause, to reflect, and maybe to find the emotion to connect to the work. And for me, actually, that is very astonishment. And for me, I think in that moment, the audience, they became part of the artwork. And actually, they do complete the process. So for me, that is the essence of the interstice. Okay, this is from one of my exhibition with paintings in the current art museum. And this is the exhibition we do in China with the project. This one I love. This is a floating island. This is one of the installation. It's my most favorite. It's from my solo at the current art museum. The title is called Floating Island Beyond Arctic. I tried to use the LED light to build some dancing couple. Yeah, this is one of my exhibitions. Okay, here we are. Actually, maybe here we can take a pause and let's think a little bit, maybe in a little bit bigger picture. In fact, maybe interstice is not only about art, it's about life. Though we often like to comfort ourselves in terms of perception and understanding about our environment and about everything. But think about that unremarkable afternoon. Think about that casual conversation. They have not been planned. They just happen in the between. So, what do I want to say here? Maybe I have to check on it to be, excuse me. Thank you for the patience. You know, I'm not a very good speaker because I'm an artist. I used to work by myself in my studio. I don't really speak or talk. If I ever talk or something, it's in my mind. I communicate with my artwork. So what I want to say here is how those unnoticed moments, those interstices, they have the power to transform my life. Let me ask you, when did you notice an interstice in your own life? Maybe it was a simple conversation you almost forgot, or maybe it was an invitation you are hesitant to accept. But what if in those moments, in that blink of time, there holds more possibility than you can imagine? So now here, finally, as an artist, I am sustained by passion, devotion, persistence, and of course hard working. And my journey is to explore, to learn, to share, and to inspire. So when I speak of interstice as a space, I invite you to notice those interstices moments in your own life. Because in those moments, life is waiting to surprise you. Thank you.